Year 3. Right, we have got some art to do today. I'm back at my parents', so the first thing I did when I'm doing art is ask permission about where I can do it. And actually, the cleanest place for me to do it is on the kitchen floor, and I promised I will scrub it afterwards. I'm also using everything that can be easily washed off, and I've got my famous art shirt on, so I don't get all grubby. So the first thing, which if you've read the instructions, is looking at, we're going to look at colours first of what we're going to use in our prints of fruits and flowers. So I thought we'd remind ourselves of the colour wheel. So I've printed this, put this together, and we have got our primary colours, which are, yes, they are blue, red and yellow. And in between those colours are the colours that you mix the primary colours together to make. So red and yellow make orange, red and blue make purple, blue and yellow make green. These colours in between can form complementary, or what we call contrast colours, opposite to their primaries, if that makes sense. Can you see these arrows? So blue is opposite to orange. So blue and orange are complementary colours or contrasting colours. Yellow and purple are complementary, and red and green are. And when we say that, they're opposite, but because they're opposite, they work really well together. They make everything really stand out. The best example I can give you is some famous advertising by Cadbury's. Look how striking this advertising is, because they've used yellow and purple, which are opposite on the colour wheel. I also found some artwork in my house, being back at my parents'. This is a picture of my dog from when I was little that my sister gave me when I was going to uni. Oh, this way, which is also using complementary opposite colours. Also, I found this print of some bicycles, which are using the blue and orange and kind of purple and orange, so similar to the purple and yellow. So today we are going to be doing some prints with fruits or flowers. I've actually found in my kitchen, I found a lemon, which is a really good option. So you could use lemon or oranges. And top tip, so I've done it on this little bit, and here I've taken out, so rather than squeezing it, I've taken out the little bits in each section just with a little spoon, so that you can you see there, so you can see the lines in the print a bit better. That will grab the paint a bit better. And the other thing I'm using is an onion. I would have loved to get some flowers, but it's really rainy outside, so that's a bit rubbish. Outside I would have got some, say maybe some lavender if I'd found it, or some maybe kind of weedy flowers with lots of little kind of seeds on the head. That would have been a really nice soft print. But I've got a lemon and onion. So I'm going to start with actual paint. And the colours of my choice, the contrasting colours I'm taking are purple and yellow, inspired by Cadbury's. So let's start. Let's think ahead. We want to be doing a pattern. So we've thought about a colour. We've thought about what we're going to use, our tools, so my lemon and onion, and then we're going to think about a pattern. So I think I might start with the onion and splodge it that way, maybe splodge it that way, and then bring in the lemon, maybe in a different colour. Let's look. So let's go purple. So I'm splodging. Oh dear, that hasn't worked very well. I might even just use my finger in case you haven't got a paintbrush at home. I'm just going to use my finger to put the paint on the onion, like that. Try and get as much on as possible. So make sure you're really careful not to make any mess, and then I'm going to print it. Can't quite see. I'm going to move back. I'm going to print it on my piece of paper. Pressing down really hard. And I might press down the other way really hard. Like that. Can you see? So, starting to form a pattern. I think it's where I could have had more paint on my onion. Let's then use the lemon. I'm going to use yellow. And I really liked the choice of an onion because in Italy, where the painting's from, they probably cook a lot with onions, so it's what we call universal. A lot of people use onions. And also in Italy, we saw some oranges on the tree, so some citrus fruits, which is an example of a lemon. And I'm going to use yellow now. Let's squidge it on my yellow paint. Oh, let's try and get a bit more on this time. I think that will work. That should work quite well. Sometimes you might have a bit of excess, a bit too much paint, so you can wipe that off before you print. And let's go here. So one lemon, another lemon. And you can really mess around with where you're going to put them. So this is where I've got up to, which is quite nice. I would, like English, art is about editing. So you can plan, so you do your plan of what you're going to write in English. Art, you're going to plan about what you want to create. But you might want to have a few goes. You might want to, I'm going to try it this way. And then you end up, after a few edits, you end up with your best piece of work, which if your parents love, they might put up in their house. So if you don't have paints at home, we can really experiment. So you could use, Miss Ori and I were thinking about maybe raspberries, if you've got them, or some fruits that you could kind of dissolve or squash in water, and that would create some quite bright colours. You could, with permission, ask what you've got in the cupboard. So food colouring, really easy one, so red and yellow. I've got here some kind of instant coffee with some water in. I'm going to try that with my onion this time. Might work really well. Obviously it's not as bright, but if you think about it, in the olden times, in the Renaissance, in 1435 I think, or 38, they would have had to make their own paints as well. See, that's not working as well. But you can kind of, because it's quite watery, so you might want to put the coffee on and then maybe let the onion dry for a bit, or whatever you're using, so that you can see all the lines within it. So let's try this time. You have to be really careful because you don't want this anywhere in your eyes. I've got some chili powder, or you could use some other spices, but I was thinking some bright spice, which I just then put a bit of water in. Let's see, this gets the lemon. I'm just experimenting, it might not work, but we will see. I think because it's quite watery. I splodged it a bit. But it's kind of, it's going to be a bit runny. It's kind of getting there. I think the trick with that is probably leaving things to dry a bit longer. So, it's a complete experiment. It's up to you. Go and see what you can find in terms of fruits and flowers, what will make a really good print. I love that sweet corn when you were rolling it across to create that kind of bobble effect. And then you could use your fingers if you don't have a paintbrush. You can use what's in your house to make paints. World is your oyster. Go create. See you soon.